Alright, what's going on, guys? This is a pretty late video of the day, but we're just going to go over the couple of the trades that I took today. So I got on the charts around 9:15. I saw that London high had not been taken on NQ. Usually what I do is I zoom out and I see London high has not been taken. I saw that we had swept London low already. We have Asia high still sitting up here as well. So my overall bias for the day is that we would maybe sweep down here to grab some of this liquidity because we have a couple fair value gaps right here, and then bounce back up to here because we also have previous day 50 here and the 786 here. We have a lot of confluence pulling us towards that. And if we look over on ES side of things, we can see that London hadn't been swept yet here. Let me get the bar kind of lined up to where we're at here. We can see that London hadn't been swept yet. Asia had, but we saw the Asia high sitting up here as well as previous day high as well. We do have previous day low sitting here as well with 786, so that's another confluence driving us down. But we are going to go over and see how that played out. What is Tuesday the 7th? Is this? Yeah, this is weird. I don't know. Replay mode's being weird. Okay, so as we can see, my targets is basically a sweep down because ES hadn't lined up yet, and of course replay mode is being weird. Basically, I wanted ES to come down to sweep London lows and then sweep back up. Obviously, you can kind of see what happened, but just focusing on NQ for now. Let's take a look as we step through. So we're getting right to about 920. We start coming down into this inverse fair value gap over here. So we're kind of doing what we predicted in pre-market, which is sweep this liquidity. So I'm looking for a reversal off of the zero bar here. And 9:30 hits, and we have this massive candle kind of eat all of this up before reversing. So I still haven't taken any trades here because immediately we see it come down because I was like, well, maybe it'll come up to one time before coming down. And here we have the tap at the zero, which lines up here. So we're kind of looking for a reversal here. However, orb had not been formed yet because we're only 3 minutes into the session. I wouldn't take any trades. And now we continue to dump. Meanwhile, ES at that same time is doing the kind of the same thing, coming down to that London low, which is right here. Oh, sorry. So we can kind of see this play out. I saw it taking any trades. We're just being patient here. There's a nice little 3 bar up and down, but these massive candles are going to take you out. And so I recommend just staying out of it. And ES here is also kind of chopping around in this range. So we currently range up and down. We come back into orb mid, kind of stepping around. Nothing happens. Nothing happens. You could have taken a trade here up to orb mid. That's a nice, 300 tick move, and then you could take it all the way back down to from the IFVG on the reversal there, up and down here. But that's a range. I don't trade that. So ES at this time is still sitting around this fib level here. Still haven't swept London low, which is what we're waiting for, which is why NQ is kind of lagging behind and range. So finally at what is it, 9:54. Okay, so 9:54. We have a nice tap of the 236, and ES had just swept London low. So this is where it gets very interesting, and this is where we can either dump, like if it breaks down, we'll dump into our 786 line. We have all of this to fill, which is great. Or we're looking for a reversal back up to what we saw because we still have London high and Asia high as well. So as we continue to step, we get a break through the 236 um, at 9:55. 9:55 ES breaks through London low. Now we see something interesting here. We see NQ begin this consolidation right below the 236, which tells us it's kind of bearish because if it breaks back up, it could swing back up. So this is kind of a dangerous area to be in 958. And same with ES. ES is also consolidating. So we have two kind of consolidations going on, which I still haven't taken in any trades. And again, you can take these scalps up. So there's that move up, which technically we have an IFVG here, and we do have a print through, which technically we could enter here into a buy. But with the overall trend of that happening, we still need to kind of wait on it because we still have a downward trend out that we need to break with an impulse trend here to make this little move here. We have our true trend, and then we have our impulse trend. And what we're looking for is the impulse trend to essentially break through the true trend. And we can still see that ES is chopping around, but also coming on the up because we have a down move and then an up move. So we see how that plays out, and we immediately see that that true trend does not get broken and it breaks back down. So that's technically a solid trade, but it's like not gonna work there because one of our confluences is a trend break and we haven't broken through that true trend yet. So the true trend is still holding. Um, I believe I'd have to look at my screenshots, but I believe I did enter around here just because I saw this consolidation happen. But what I ended up doing was going in very small because I knew we were going to chop and chop and chop and chop, which you're going to deal with a lot of drawdown. And depending on where your accounts are at, you don't want to blow your account off of a, we're moving these candle sizes are 200 ticks, which is enough to blow accounts if you go in too heavy. So right here we get a down move as well. And so I believe I entered the cells, I think with 3 contracts right here. And we can just see kind of what you have to put up with before the move actually begins. So there's a move down. We kind of take lower lows here, 1008, 1008. ES finally is in line with these lows here, but it needs to take the lower lows. I believe here is where we finally, NQ is still chopping, another down move. And finally, we kind of break through. We took a lower low, which kind of confirms we're sticking on the true trend, haven't broken the impulse trend, take the lower lows, and now we can ride it all the way down to our 786 is our area of interest. And same with ES. ES also had this fib line here that it needs to break through, which we can see that start to slow up NQ as well. But as we can see the rest of the play out, we just continue to ride it all the way down. And right here, I was messing around with some diving in and out of, so I messed up a bunch of my entries. I still came out profitable. But around this area here, as we can see, NQ begins slowing up because ES now is hitting that fib level, which is one of our areas of interest. So ES is affecting NQ, take some profit there, and then as we continue through the play, it continues to chop down all the way down to our 786. We get a little up move there, but again, the true trend still holds. So if we continue to draw our true trend, look at that, we still are holding that, which gives us movement all the way down. Still haven't tapped the 786. And finally, we hit our 786. So from here, I was done for the day. I took my 3 trades. I had two losses, 1 win. Still profitable on the day. I ended up switching accounts because the 786 is where basically our power moves come from. It's a very powerful area of interest, which is where our bread and butter is. So what do we see? Our next steps, maybe a little consolidation. Yep, which is what we're seeing here. And now I move up, and I move up, which breaks that true trend. And now we're taking the higher highs and everything there. And finally, we get confirmation to move up, which if you line this up with ES over here, it's moving up. You can enter the buys here with a stop loss here, confirm, and you can see that we get a small break to the upside. Now I was only looking for 100 ticks there. There's 112.95. I'm happy with that trade. I get out, make the money. I'm done for the day. That's my 4 trades for the day. And we can see the rest of the day play out, which it's eating up these FVGs here back into the downtrend. And if we go back to here too, we talk about the true trend and the impulse trend. So here's our impulse trend. What happens? We break the true trend into another impulse trend. Impulse trend there. So that's why I took that 4th trade on one of my other accounts is because of that. And I believe I actually got out right there, but I could have taken up a couple more, but I decided not to. So why did we take these trades? Because we had a breakdown of orb. We went through orb low with a retest, failed retest. We saw a consolidation there. ES began breaking lower lows, breaking through those fib levels. So I jumped in the trade. It was a slight anticipation trade, but we held the true trend. So we had true trend. We had true trend. True trend held. We had orb low, or I guess it's called, break back into orb rejected, and ES confluences. So that's 3 different confluences I took on this trade to take this. And then this trade down here, so here, ooh, what the heck? That was, ooh, why did that happen? What is this? Okay. Oh, it's my ATR. That's weird. Never seen that happen. Can I delete this section? I didn't know you could do that. I might mess around with that later. I'm actually gonna put this like here because this is why I'm gonna take a screenshot of this later and put it in the chat. And then I took this trade because well, my fib lines are all going. What happened? Weird. Anyways, this we had a. That's so weird. Why did that happen? Weird. Anyway, so over here we had a. Why did we take this trade? We had a IFAG print through, reverse off the 786, and then ES confluence as well because I saw ES was slowing down and reversing as well. So we had like a B setup upstairs and then like an A plus setup down here. So very quick and easy. I was off the charts by 10:53 to go enjoy the day. So um, yeah, any questions? Let me know. We're still working towards everything. So I'm gonna figure out what happened, but yeah, that's the trade recap for July 7th.